Welcome back, everyone. It's August 11th, 2020. I'm Jerry Hall, and here's the view from Costa Rica. Now, here's a photo, right? A painting, actually, of Paul Revere on his famous midnight run. And it reminds me of what I think is happening in the world of investing, and that is the alarms are being sounded. And I envision a mythical Paul Revere riding at a gallop down Wall Street. Crypto is here. Crypto is here. And as he leaves New York and travels about the country, it's Wall Street is coming. Wall Street is coming. And folks, it is absolutely a glorious time to be an early investor in what looks to be an asset class that is fixed to explode. Let me substantiate this. It wasn't but a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, that Grayscale put out a toolkit for financial planners, prepping all of those folks that work for TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Fidelity Investments, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and the countless other small brokerages around the country, introducing their or reinforcing their GBTC, which is their Bitcoin trust, which is available to retail investors. And it goes in, that toolkit was just, how incredible Bitcoin is. Oh, Bitcoin is, it solves all your problems. If you're sore, Bitcoin will make you feel better. If you're lonely, Bitcoin will keep you company. If you want an investment that's going to outperform the rest of the market, Bitcoin is the asset to invest in. And some of that's true, and a lot of it's marketing and sales. And here they're at it again. Now they're going directly to accredited investors, whether there be the family offices, endowment funds, or the individuals who are accredited investors. And they're saying, hey, we have a catalog of more products than just our GBTC. Well, I downloaded their introduction to XRP, and I will tell you that it's actually very favorable for XRP. Discern some of the differences, what I believe are competitive advantages in the marketplace. And I'm glad to see Grayscale do this. It's giving exposure to what many of us believe is the best in class crypto asset on the board. It'll be interesting to see how much of this lines up with their anticipation as they doubled their XRP bag last week. And you all know Grayscale put out their commercial, basically giving a brief history of money and the downfall of modern monetary policy. And then, of course, hey, cryptocurrency solves all those problems. Call Grayscale. Let's see how that works out. But you got to be encouraged that more and more attention is being given in the space. Another case in point, Bloomberg puts out their crypto outlook, crypto becoming prudent. This is yet another indication that Wall Street is ready to open their doors. They're ready to do business. Here's another illustration of that point. Now, this is my Pompliano letter, the Pomp letter, as it's called. And what it draws attention to in this particular article is the fact that a publicly traded company, MicroStrategy Incorporated, has decided that half of their balance sheet, $250 million of cash, is going to go buy, or has purchased 21,454 Bitcoins. And this isn't at all about speculation. This is about preserving their cash element, quote unquote, purchasing power, and even seeing an upside appreciation of it. This is a very strategically planned allocation. The CEO has a very nice quote in this article. I'm not going to go into all that. You can read it for yourself. I'll put links to all three of these documents in the description of this video if you care to dig in further. I just really wanted to draw a fine line to the point that Wall Street is coming. Large money is coming. And although, you know, some of us, well, not some of us, Twitter is just going crazy with all these altcoins. You know, you got your links and your this and your that. You know what? If you're invested in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, you're going to be fine. Trust me. Big allocations, $250 million isn't going into Link. Retail investors are doing that. The big money is going to go into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and hopefully XRP initially. And they're not going in for a day, a week, or a swing trade. They're making strategically planned investments for the next 6 months. Obviously, they'll reevaluate. But this could be multiple years if things continue to go as the macro view suggests they will. Well, what is the macro view? How did you get your macro view, Jerry? Two things. One, I watch a tremendous amount of Real Vision. These are pros in the space. But I also take a look at what's actually going on in the world as it pertains to markets. And when I see the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, extremely inflated as they are now, I can tell you that the valuations are skewed. I can tell you that the market cap, the total market cap, TMC, of these indices, the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow, relative to the GDP, which is primarily friggin' debt at this stage of the game, is so skewed that it tells me it's not sustainable. I don't care how much money they print, it's not sustainable. Why is it not sustainable if they can keep printing money? It's the difference between liquidity and solvency. Liquidity is short-term and short-term only. Solvency ensures longevity, growth, and prosperity. These companies are not solvent. Without the injection of liquidity, they go under. They're not able to reservice their debt. Well, we know our debt markets are getting tougher and tougher and tougher. The debt is at a debt super cycle. It can't go on. You can't keep shoving liquidity to try to solve a solvency problem. Only real growth based off of services and products that are desired by the spending market, the spending population. Well, the spending population has diminished greatly. COVID has shown us that, right? So what do I do to kind of understand and forecast what's happening, what's coming, what to look forward to? Well, I watched obviously the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. I see they continue to gain. Well, that's in an inflated bubble. You don't want to short a bubble. However, I'm not putting money in at record level valuations. We know that the existing monetary policy has nowhere to go but to continue doing what they're doing, which we all know eventually leads to hyperinflation. We're already seeing inflation in those indices. We're seeing inflation in many different real estate markets. There are many asset classes that have outrageous inflation. Well, eventually it's going to trickle down into the price of milk, the price of bread, the price of gasoline, the price of everything. That leads to hyperinflation. They have no choice. Also, I keep an eye on the dollar, and that's why this page is up, the DXY, the dollar index. And as I continue to see the dollar weaken relative to other currencies and know that it's great, it's excellent for our companies in the US that are producing products that get purchased outside of the US. Well, if product purchasing is going down across the planet, what good does that do me? Well, what it tells me is gold, silver, and crypto are the asset classes to be in. We've seen gold take a nice run. We've seen silver take a nice run. And we've seen crypto increase its overall market cap by $120 billion over the last several weeks. Crypto has so much farther to go. The upside potential, the asymmetrical risk relative to these Dows, S&Ps, NASDAQs, and real estate markets, as well as the existing debt markets, is so weighted in crypto's favor that it is a no-brainer. Hence, when we're seeing the Grayscales put out their publications and the Bloombergs put out their publications and the Pomplianos writing articles about publicly trading companies taking half of their balance sheet and putting it into a digital asset, we know that it's happening. It's substantiated. The theory, all the things we thought about, all the things we played Nostradamus with 2 years ago are happening. Regulations are starting to roll out. The OCC letter was an incredible poke in the side to say, hey, listen, regulations are coming. These things that you guys have been clamoring for, it's starting to happen. This next 6 months is going to be an extremely exciting period. It's an election year. Decisions are going to be made for re-election, not for what's best to fix the country, to fix the economy. And we all know, like it or not, the US leads the world in most things as it pertains to economies. So I think strap in, continue to do what you do. I want to do a special shout out to Mr. BC Backer, the blockchain backer, because this is one of the only dudes that I've seen doing TA that actually is like humble about it. He's not trying to tell you what's going to happen. He says science probabilities. This is what's likely to happen. And that's what I'm trying to do from the macro side when I'm talking to you about inflated asset classes, when I'm talking to you about the strength of the dollar, when I'm talking to you about what it looks like for an asset class like crypto to grow. The pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and there is an extremely high probability that we, the early investors in these digital assets, are going to fare very, very well. So get yourself prepared. I'm going to close you out with this. This was a tweet from JC Collins, and I'm so glad to see JC back active in Twitter again. What he's referring to in this tweet is a Tony Robbins video, The Millionaire Mindset. And it's talking about preparing yourself for abundance, talking about breaking down the barriers that keep you from manifesting prosperity. I'll put the link to this in this Millionaire Mindset video. I'll put the link in the description of this video along with the PDF files and the pomp letter for all of you to review at a later date. Hang tough, leave your comments. I really want to know what your spin is. What are the indicators that you're looking at? What are the things in the marketplace that are suggesting things are great, or hey, maybe watch out? We're all in this together. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support for this channel. If you haven't already subscribed, take a second. It's free today. If you could, please take another second and hit the like button. Let's see if 1,000 people watch this video. Can I get 1,000 likes? Is that possible? It doesn't take that much effort. I appreciate you all very much. And from Costa Rica, Pura Vida.